Do you feel that sometimes even a promising lead turns out to be a bust? What happens when that first date doesn't lead to a second or the sales pitch fails to land the client? But what if they could? What if you knew the steps to set up each conversation to increase the likelihood that you connect, engage, and win? Welcome to Speak Easy. In this book, you'll find some of the secrets of elite interviewers and conversationalists. Lou Diamond, the author of Speak Easy, is a storyteller, podcaster, and professional speaker. He has analyzed, edited, and broken down thousands of interviews and great conversations. The core concept of Speak Easy explores the art of conversation and focuses on techniques to build strong connections. The conversation in interviews, business meetings, everyday conversations are a significant part of life, and author offers practical advice to enhance these communications. It highlights the importance of authenticity, active listening, and clear communication for achieving meaningful connections. Why conversations matters. Humans are the most social animal on the planet, and conversation is the bread and butter of social life. We may not live by bread alone, but we die without it. A survey cites that the frequency of conversations in daily life on an average per person has more than 25 conversations each day. Conversations just don't mean one-on-one talks, but also include group discussions and presentations, which are all opportunities to connect. Conversations are essential for quenching our thirst to connect with others, and that we are infatuated with conversations, so much so that we end up even eavesdropping on them. What makes a conversation engaging? Or before that, why and how conversations impact us? We love conversations. Conversations are one of the most popular forms of entertainment across multiple mediums. Since the early days of radio and television, conversations have been traveling across the airwaves via interview programs, talk shows, and informative broadcasts. Since the 1960s, late-night talk show television have been very popular. Talk show legends Jack Paar, Johnny Carson, Joan Rivers, David Letterman, Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien, to name a few, deliver their opening monologues and comic bits through talk shows. Then came the national morning news programs, local news shows, mid-morning and mid-afternoon talk shows all feature conversations that millions of viewers enjoy while earning high ratings for the networks. Oprah Winfrey ruled the after-school, pre-dinner time slot for decades. Or, if you're like me, more than likely you're probably watching the video feeds, clips on YouTube, and then sharing them across social media. These exchanges are also conversations. While we're watching, we continue the conversation through social channels. Desire to absorb more conversations is seen through the exponential growth of podcasting. According to Edison Research and Triton Digital's annual study, The Infinite Dial, at the beginning of 2020 in the United States, there were more than 850,000 podcasts. That number more than doubled to over 2 million programs by April 2021, with over 48 million episodes. The point here is we love listening to conversations, and that keeps us entertaining and engaged. So the question here is, what keeps us engaged? Is it the format of conversation? Or is it the humorous punches in the conversation? Or above all, is it the story that relates so much to our lives at some point? Well, the author comes up with the 7 C's of communication. It is a framework for creating engaging content in conversations. First, content. Familiar content is more engaging. People prefer to engage with topics they are comfortable with and understand. Second is context. Providing a relatable context helps people connect with the content. Third, clarity. Clear communication is essential for engagement. If an audience cannot understand what is being said, they cannot connect. 4, creativity. Presenting content in a truthful, genuine, honest, and authentic way resonates more with an audience. Original thinking is more engaging than commonplace ideas. 5, continuity. Maintaining the flow of content is important. Interruptions can disrupt engagement. It is best to keep topics related to each other and to finish one subject before moving to another. 6, cadence. A familiar structure or rhythm in a conversation can be engaging. When parties in a conversation find a comfortable pace together, it helps engagement. 7, connection. The goal of a conversation is to create a connection. Looking for common ground and shared points of interest can help establish a connection. Now, Think it this way: how to use these 7 C's. Not every conversation is going to have all 7 of the C's within it. Look for the C's in conversations, but don't force them. The answer is sound check and mocktails. The author draws an analogy from live music performances, the sound check, which is similar to practicing conversation. It is important to ensure that what you say resonates significantly with the audience. David Sims, the sound engineer for Grammy-winning artist Sting, made an important reveal at the venue in Austin, where he took Lou Diamond to the control panel of the largest soundboard. He revealed that since every stage requires unique settings on the soundboard for each musical instrument and microphone for that specific venue, the sound check is a crucial component in ensuring a live performance goes off smoothly. Therefore, a listening experience must resonate properly to best engage the audience. Similarly, rehearsing your speech is important. Whereas the concept of mocktails introduces short stories or phrases that are your go-to conversational starters, which can be rehearsed for a smoother conversational flow. For years, recruiters and headhunters have recommended and conducted mock interviews ahead of an actual job interview. Rehearsing components such as your Tell Me About Yourself, TMAY, is a good use of sound checking, but the user is urged to not sound too rehearsed and should try and speak in a natural tone. Rehearsing can be done through speaking to a peer or recording yourself to observe how your message resonates to a listener. Show preparation, setting the stage. In January 2007, Diamond attended an annual conference in South Florida at the Boca Raton Resort and Club. Just before the featured speaker session, he happened to sneak peek into the prep room of Tony Robbins, and to his shock, he saw something that he should not have seen. Tony Robbins bouncing on a mini trampoline. For those who have been a part of any of Tony Robbins' live events, know that he brings an energy that is unmatched. Witnessing something like this in person was something author didn't quite understand then. However, today it is one of the favorite reminders. You need to be in a certain frame of mind to be an effective communicator. You need to find your own unique trigger to jumpstart yourself as you prepare to connect. To be at your best ahead of every conversation, you need to connect your VOIC voice. The VOIC framework is a crucial pre-conversation ritual, with each letter having a different aspect to focus on. V for visualize. In 2015, Jason Day climbed the ranks to become the #1 professional golfer in the world. Ahead of every shot, Jason would stand behind the golf ball with his eyes closed and visualize his next set of actions. And the result is the win. O for opportunity. Be appreciative of the conversation as an opportunity to connect, learn, and grow. Unfortunately, many people look at having a conversation with others in a rather self-centered manner. Ditch the me-speak and show genuine curiosity. I for identity. Understand the role you need to play in the conversation. Question asker, MC, problem solver, etc. C for charisma. Let your unique personality shine. And E for energy. Bring enthusiasm and excitement to the conversation. The chapter emphasizes the importance of thorough preparation, clear agendas, and structured conversations for successful business meetings and presentations. Jasmine, a partner at Deloitte, fell ill before a crucial presentation and asked the author to stand in for her. The author received detailed notes from Jasmine, including information about the attendees and a minute-by-minute timeline of the presentation. The preparation provided by Jasmine gave the author confidence and led to a successful presentation and acceptance of the proposal. The text draws parallels between business meetings and theatrical productions, highlighting the importance of setting the stage with clear agendas. The author shares a method called the Easy E's for preparing guests for podcast interviews, focusing on enthusiasm, ease, expedition, and a clear end. The importance of providing a clear agenda for both initial and subsequent business meetings is emphasized to ensure productive conversations. Setting the stage with a structured agenda is seen as a mark of respect and helps keep meetings on track. The author concludes by encouraging enthusiasm, comfort, clear paths, and concise agendas to foster engaging and productive business conversations. Easy E's. Well, Easy E's are like shown movie trailers, both in theaters and on television, before we buy a ticket to watch the show. Whether we're a member of the audience or an active participant in the show or in a conversation, we want to know what's going to happen next. Breaking this down into its components, here it is, called as easy ease. Enthusiasm, sharing excitement and appreciation for connecting with new people, ear to ear. As I'm enthusiastic about the upcoming conversation, I'm always smiling. A smile shows that I am happy and lets the guest know that they're about to engage in a fun and friendly conversation. Ease means helping others feel relaxed and comfortable. Expedition refers to mapping out the journey of the conversation to make the guest more comfortable, letting them know where the conversation is heading, without needing to follow it precisely. End in sight is giving the guest a heads up as to when the conversation will be wrapping up. Next chapter is show up, giving it your all, and asking for permission. Howard Stern says, anything you find yourself holding back, it's probably what the audience most wants to hear. So, what is showing up? Show up, just like fire up, discusses the importance of being present, asking questions, and being authentic in conversations. Now, the question is, what is show up? When we show up, we elevate the relationship from someone you're speaking with to someone you are connecting to. When we show up in a conversation, we share the best, most elevated versions of ourselves. Next, how do we show up? The author reflects on his childhood dream of playing in the NBA and how he transitioned to becoming a professional speaker and podcast host by mimicking the moves of the great NBA players of the day: Julius Erving, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and, most frequently, Michael Jordan. This reflects to showing up by author himself. The concept of showing up is explored in two ways: being present and elevating oneself to connect deeply in conversations. Larry King's interview style, which involves showing up, being present, and asking basic questions, is highlighted as a model for effective conversations. In fact, Larry King once shared that even after hosting for 30 years, over 75% of the guests he met for the very first time while interviewing them on the program. That's why the types of questions he asked his guests made it appear to the viewing audience that this meeting was a first encounter. Howard Stern's authenticity and Oprah Winfrey's focus on spirit-to-spirit connections are cited as examples of successful conversationalists. Therefore, the author introduces 3 techniques for effective conversations: give it your ask, listen, learn, ask for permission, and be you. The idea of showing up is explored beyond just physical presence, emphasizing the need to bring positive energy, focus, and a willingness to elevate the conversation. The mantra ask, listen, learn, and giving your are highlighted as ways to establish trust with your conversation partner. Watch your conversations transform into connections. It is also important to ask for permission when moving the conversation. As you begin to cover specific topics in conversation, you want to make sure the person you are speaking to is comfortable having that conversation. Asking for permission demonstrates respect and courtesy, both of which help to establish trust. One great example of asking for permission is at the center of a growing sales strategy known as permission-based selling, PBS. Simple transition questions like, is it okay if I ask you about, and may I inquire why, are great permission-based lead-ins. Be you. The importance of authenticity in conversations is very important. The concept is about sharing your real self instead of trying to be someone you are not. Howard Stern, the television and radio personality, has uncanny ability to get anyone to discuss just about anything. Over time, he has been identified as one of the most authentic, effective, and memorable interviewers and conversationalists. Oprah Winfrey didn't become one of the most successful business icons in the media industry by faking it. She earned it by being the best version of herself. Showing up authentically in conversations can transform potential prospects into future clients. Well, being authentic is not all, or is it? What if I sound boring? What do I do then? Then, making the conversation fun is more genuine and authentic, isn't it? One of the reasons we connect through great conversations is that we have fun while having them. How do I make the conversation a fun street? In this section, Diamond discusses the importance of incorporating fun into business conversations to create memorable and engaging interactions. For instance, Broadway musicals or plays with serious subject matter often have a bit of comic relief thrown into the dialogue. Late-night talk show interviews always include some funny, witty story in the conversation with a featured guest. You're more likely to remember and recall the fun activity the host and guest experienced together than the specific topic of their conversation. A large sales team of a Fortune 500 company concludes every weekly sales call with one person sharing a recipe of something they love to prepare. This feature became so popular that the company created a special blog section on their corporate website with a new recipe each week. The Thrive Loud podcast features a fun street segment with rapid-fire questions about guests' favorite activities, foods, and travel destinations to create a positive atmosphere. Suggestions for making conversations fun include sharing personal interests, favorite foods, desired activities, and travel dreams to establish a happy and engaging tone. The overall message is that adding fun to conversations, even in professional settings, can lead to more meaningful and lasting connections. But we are all bound by time. There is always a point to bring closure. How do I close an interesting conversation suddenly? Worried? The closure is equally important as the conversation itself. Ending a conversation effectively is a must. It encourages setting expectations for the end of the conversation from the beginning, utilizing a last call segment to ensure everything discussed has been addressed. And it provides an opportunity to set up future conversation. Last call. And Mauro Lindbergh says, good conversation is as stimulating as black coffee and just as hard to sleep after. Hearing the last call. I gotta tell you, this interview was so much fun that I really didn't want the conversation to end. Thank you for having me on this program. Can we do it again? Validates that a connection was made and the guest had a great time. The author shares a personal anecdote about struggling to end conversations with a fast-talking friend, Antoine, highlighting the challenge of wrapping up discussions. Therefore, the concept of last call is introduced as a method to conclude conversations respectfully and set the stage for future interactions. Last call emphasizes the importance of setting expectations at the beginning of a conversation, helps in managing time and ensuring accountability. Wrapping up conversations on time builds trust and demonstrates reliability, making it easier to ask for follow-up discussions. Last call serves as a checkpoint to ensure all topics are covered and to plan the next meeting, fostering continued engagement. Expressing appreciation at the end of a conversation is a common and effective way to close, leading into the next steps. In business settings, having a designated timekeeper ensures meetings stay on track and allows for a clear summary of action items and next steps. A well-defined last call with clear calls to action can transform initial conversations into ongoing business relationships. Next, we discuss the importance of brevity in conversations, illustrated by a story of two men who formed a lasting business relationship after a brief taxi ride. Sean and Clark met during a rainy day in New York City and shared a taxi ride across town. Despite only having a 2-minute conversation, they exchanged contact information and helped each other with directions. Clark later texted Sean to thank him, leading to a drink, dinner, and eventually a long-term business relationship. The story emphasizes that meaningful connections can be made quickly without needing extended conversations. B5G. In 2015, Diamond created a podcast with the principle of be brief, be bright, be gone, B5G, to highlight the value of concise and impactful communication. B5G encouraged in optimizing time, sharing brilliance, and moving onward and upward after conversations. It suggested that shorter, more efficient conversations can lead to stronger, long-lasting connections and more productive outcomes. The principle of B5G can be applied to various forms of communication, such as meetings and emails, to enhance effectiveness. Blaise Pascal says, "If I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter." At the end, author shares his secret menu. The Speakeasy secret menu. At the end, Lou Diamond from his secret menu presents some conversational techniques and tips for different scenarios, emphasizing honesty, energy, and connection. He suggests a conversational flights tasting menu, offering unique conversation techniques for different scenarios, primarily in work or business environments. The icebreaker conversation includes ingredients like intentionality and energy, and suggests starting conversations with personal interests to make a strong impact. The 800-pound gorilla addresses uncomfortable conversations, recommending immediate confrontation to prevent issues from growing larger. The cash bar focuses on discussing money, emphasizing the importance of leading with value and moving through fear into courage. Honesty is highlighted as a key ingredient in every conversation, with tips on maintaining authenticity and gratitude. The Boom Boom Zoom Room discusses virtual conversations, stressing the need for energy and focused attention to bridge the gap created by physical distance. The Helping Hand offers advice on promoting services within conversations, suggesting sincerity and kindness to establish connections before offering help. I'll Have Another concept provides a structure for follow-up conversations, including pleasantries, gratitude, and a recap to maintain and build on previous connections. In conclusion, Speakeasy provides a practical and engaging approach to conversational skills. It presents a framework for readers to become more intentional, engaging, and authentic communicators, applicable to both personal and professional contexts. The book encourages a shift from transactional interactions to relationship-based connections, leading to more fulfilling and productive conversations.
Stay tuned for more. Until next time.
Like, share, and subscribe for more.